Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. There's no fishing or hunting on this little episode that I'm about to make. It's a recipe I want to share with you. It's something that my family really likes, and I try not to make it all the time because I don't want the goodness to wear out on it. What it is, shrimp and grits. I'm gonna make it with the recipe that I have kind of perfected over the last year or so, and it's all stuff that you can easily get from Walmart. The only thing that might be kind of complicated, local shrimp. So those are some that we picked up earlier today. Make sure they're good and fresh. You don't need a pile of them, but some thin sliced hickory bacon, some Johnsonville, I believe it is, beef smoked sausage. We got a couple of bell peppers, a red and a green one, and a half an onion, a sweet onion. And other than that, you'll need some grits. I got some Jim Dandy 5-minute grits in there, some smoked Gouda cheese, any kind you want to use, if you can even get your hands on it. It's not a big deal, but the smoke isn't really going to come from the cheese. It's going to come from this smoked sausage right here. Like I said, this is going to be an easy recipe. Anybody can go get this, and all these ingredients should be readily available other than the shrimp. If you can't get this, you can get some radioactive shrimp. Only radiation on these should be what I brought home from work. Just kidding. You can get packaged shrimp. Highly recommend you support the local shrimpers if you can, and it's just going to be a better product the fresher your stuff is. So with that, we'll get started. All right, y'all. So this is going to be a start to finish cook. So hopefully you get something out of it. If you don't like shrimp and grits or food that has that real smoky flavor, this isn't going to be the meal for you to try to replicate. But my family absolutely loves it. And this is, like I said, it's one of those stick to your bones that ain't great for you, but it's definitely good to you. So here we go. We're going to get started. I'm going to start off with a half a pound of bacon, just thin sliced bacon that I've cut up into little pieces. We're gonna get that in there and we're gonna cook it down. We'll get that going on that high heat and get it started. All right, so now that I got this cooking, one of the things I'm watching for, I want this bacon to get close to crispy, but I don't want it crunchy, like hard crunchy. I want it just barely done, and then I'm gonna take it out because we're gonna put this in the sauce that we're gonna make for our shrimp and grits. I know, I'm not supposed to use metal on coated steel. It's my house. All right, so if you can see that bacon, that's done. That's what we want. That's when we take it off. That leftover grease, you can use it, save it, do what you want to. I pour it out. I don't keep that. I just use some napkins and get rid of it. I don't want a whole lot of grease in this shrimp and grits recipe. We won't need it. There's plenty of grease in that sausage right there. All right, something I want to tell you about. So whenever you're boiling your grits, like I said, we're just using the regular old Jim Dandy grits. That is chicken broth. Replace the water with chicken broth. You'll thank me later. All right, so we got our chicken broth heating up so that we can cook our grits. I took most of the bacon grease out. I put my bacon over to the side. We're gonna put in pretty much last now that it's cooked. And I'm gonna cook the shrimp up. So all that's in there is a little bit of Tony's, a little bit of garlic. We're just gonna get these shrimp done, and then we're gonna put it in our cream sauce whenever we get close to being completely done here. So go ahead and dump these in. And I just wanna barely cook these shrimp. I don't wanna get them blackened. That's not the point. Spread them out so they get done kind of even. And I'm going to chop these up. These are large white shrimp. And I don't want to try to take a bite with all the other stuff. And the shrimp that size, that's just too big. They are pretty though. Man, them are good enough to eat already. Look how pretty that is. Yeah, those are good enough now. Time to take these puppies up. All right, we got to add a little more oil to that pan because it's time to cook the vegetables. And with this, all I've done is cut up an onion and 2 bell peppers, half an onion, actually half a sweet onion. Got to use them Vidalia onions. So we got a red green bell pepper and half a chopped onion. And that's what we're working with right there. I done cut those up. This right here is about to get the whole house smelling awesome. And I probably could have thrown some butter in there. I might actually do that. I'm gonna throw some seasoning on them, a little bit of that Tony's. And I'm gonna follow it up with some garlic powder, and then we're gonna throw some butter in there with it. Not a bunch. I'm not big on using a whole lot of butter. All right, so that's all the butter I'm using. That's probably what, a tablespoon? Turn that heat back up. Cook these peppers down. Oh no. Oh yeah, and I might not have told you this already, but so I don't like to use a lot of butter, but I will use olive oil. Now olive oil, that's going to help the stuff not scorch it. The butter burns. If you're using just straight butter, it'll burn pretty easy. Adding a little bit of olive oil or splitting half and half helps your stuff cook without scorching. And olive oil, I hate to tell all the fine dairy farmers and whatnot, but olive oil is better for you. All right, if you can see that, those onions are starting to get a little translucent. So are the bell peppers. That means it's about done. And we got a little boil in that pot. That means it's time to get them grits going. So I'm gonna dial this heat back on these grits, and then we're gonna stir them in. Trick here is, don't dump them in all at one time. You got to slowly get them in there, otherwise you get grit balls. Nobody wants a grit ball, unless you're weird. All right, we're gonna add a little bit. These are 5-minute grits. We're gonna add a little bit of cream to them after a while, a little bit of butter and a little bit of salt. But we want these to simmer they can simmer for a while for all I care. The longer the better. All right, this right here is about done. See, we start to get a little brown edge of those peppers and onions. That's when you know it's done. All right, it's time to add the sausage. And here is the #1 tip that I have learned, and all the times that I've cooked this: do not cook this sausage beforehand. Do not do that. For whatever, it messes the whole thing up. Cook it just like this. Cook it with the vegetables. It retains a lot of that smoky flavor, and you're just wanting to kind of heat the sausage up at this point. This sausage is pre-cooked. This is that pre-packaged beef smoked sausage. You can use other smoked sausage. You've got to constantly stir these grits too, by the way. They will stick to the bottom. So it's best if you got an extra hand, I ain't gonna lie. We're gonna put some butter in there with them, help them out. Got to have that butter. Not a bunch. We're going for about a tablespoon. And this is 6 servings, so you can make this on a smaller scale. That's totally up to you. But Jessica takes this to work, and people tend to like it. So I split that up. So as soon as that butter's melted, I'm gonna add the cheese and let it start doing this thing. All right, now we got to dial this heat back because it's time to add all the other stuff. And we're gonna add some heavy whipping cream. Then we're gonna bring this to a simmer. And that's all we're using right there, heavy whipping cream. So that stuff is heated up, and it is time to add all the goodies back. All right, there we go. So heavy whipping cream goes in. The shrimp goes in. And the bacon goes in. Look at that. That right there, that's a meal in itself right there. We can survive a year off that. Just stir that in there like that. We need to get it back to a simmer. Look at that right there, y'all. Look at the color of that. That is awesome. We got to keep these ribs all sticking. Now, this is not butter. This is a half a round of smoked Gouda, and that is going in the cheese. Sorry, that is going in the cheese. That is going in the grits. Yeah, I like a little grit with my cheese. Yeah, we got to dial that way back. That's gonna scorch. We just want a little simmer. And just to thicken that cream up, because this is ready to go. We just want that cream to thicken up. That's it. Right there, shrimp, bell peppers, onions, sausage. Stir this. And you got to constantly stir these grits. I got it on the lowest setting possible. After I got that to a boil, I turned it down. Threw about a tablespoon and a half of butter in there, a small round of Gouda cheese, and that Gouda doesn't melt very easy. Now we're about to put a little salt to them grits. And I'm gonna go all Justin Wilson on it. We're gonna say about that much. Actually, that might have been a little too, I don't know. We're gonna go with it. That's what we're doing. Make a plan, stick with it. All right, we got to stir that salt in with that Gouda cheese, that smoked Gouda cheese. And you can get smoked Gouda at Walmart. I don't care what you think. You got to go to the area where they sell like that hummus dip and all that crap I never eat. The seafood dip, the stuff that's pre-packaged. Look around, there's some specialty cheeses. If you don't have a Publix or a Kroger, they do sell it at Walmart. And in a pinch, I have done it. But I'd rather use this boar's head smoked Gouda from Publix. I'm bougie like that. And I probably used half of that. That's a quart, so I probably used half a quart. I don't measure hardly anything. Y'all, that is amazing. That is gonna be so good. I want you to look how creamy them grits are. Look at that. Look at that right there. Ooh, boy. I still need to put no cream in there. I probably need to put just a touch. I don't even know if that matters. I'll be honest with you, I just feel pretty cool doing it. You know? Those creamy grits without cream. Y'all just look at that. Look at that simmer. What you think?
I think it's gonna be mighty fine.
You think it's gonna be mighty fine? Well, we're gonna find out. All the bacon and shrimp. Woo-wee. I'm gonna layer that on top. Get a couple more of them shrimp pieces and bell peppers and sausage. All right, you ain't gonna watch me eat. But there you go. That's it.